Alrighty, we're gonna get started with the drone kit. You should have received one of these kits from the Tech Annex. If you registered, you just come to Tech Annex and pick it up. It's a Circuit Scribe DIY drone kit. What this does, it teaches you the basics of circuitry on how circuits work, and which in the box is a cardboard piece of arms, perforated little drone arms. You just pop them out. Should come with 3 pairs. A charging base and cable. The conductive ink you're going to need. Now the ink, you're going to have to shake it vigorously for about a minute because the ink does settle, and it's ink with metal in it, so it gets a little cakey, so you have to shake it really good and then once you shake it, try to do like a little test spot on the cardboard. What you want to do is press down, straight down. Don't put the pen in an angle. You press straight down and just move it back and forth lightly. That's the best way to release the ink out of the pen. It's a little thick. You should get 2 pre-printed circuit board arms for the drone. It's if you don't want to use the cardboard arms. The drone body. The battery pack. Now this battery pack lasts about 3 minutes on a full charge. A set of spare propellers and 4 motors. Now, if you want to use the pre-printed circuit board arms, you can. They're stiff and rigid. And these are reusable as many times as you want. But if you prefer to get a little fancy, the kit does come with a blank piece of cardboard. I already cut out my own, design there. So what I did, I just kind of used this cardboard piece here, the perforated one that came with the kit. I used it kind of as a template to start off, and I traced it so I can try to make my own design. I just used the dimensions of it, and from that I kind of just added some landing base, something like that. And I know this isn't perfect, but it should work. So yeah, you can do something like that. That's the beauty of this, that you take it apart completely, or it's completely taken apart, and you use just cardboard to make your own arms. So that's a cutout piece, and that's, you can see it there. That's the piece I traced before I cut it out. Like I said, you can use the perforated cardboard arms as well. Now on the perforated cardboard arms, you're gonna see a red dotted line around. That's what you want to fill in with the conductive ink. Either fill it solid, or you can just do your own little quirky design. And when you're using the ink, you want to make sure you do it like you stroke the pen in one direction. You don't want to go back and forth, because what that does, because there is metal in this ink, it's gonna kind of push the ink around. It's not really gonna layer it down. It's gonna push it back and forth, so you're gonna end up kind of like sweeping it side to side. So just do it in one straight motion, forward or whichever direction. Just don't go back and forth constantly. And you would do the same thing with the arms you create. Kind of get an idea using the perforated template where the contacts will be, and that's where you want to make sure there's a good layer of ink conductive ink on there, and you want to make a line going to the next contact spot. And you want to do the same thing, make sure there's a good steady stream of ink going back and forth. You want to make sure this dries too. It takes about maybe 30 seconds to dry, but you can fan it up and down like this, get it all dry. Alrighty, so I went ahead and just put ink on the perforated pieces and just kind of speed up. You don't want to just sit there, watch me put ink on this. And if you do ever run out of ink from this pen, the Circuit Scribe website does sell ink pens, or you can get conductive ink or paint on Amazon, and that'll work just as fine. All right, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to get my two perforated pieces, and I'm going to align the middle notches, place them together so you get a cross or an X. Next thing you want to do is get the body of the drone. Make sure no one else joined, or see if someone else joined here. Doesn't look like it. All right. So you want to get the body, and this is going to be kind of hard to put in. Actually, I take that back. Let's put in the arms with the, so you want these two top notches facing upwards, and the middle notch is closest to the bottom of the arm. That's going to be the top, the first piece you're going to put in first. So you want to align your contact points with the contact points on the drone. It's going to be a little stiff getting in there. Yeah, and this is, you definitely want to make sure this dries well, because then you get it all over your fingers. And yeah, I'm sure it's non-toxic, but so I want to push it in all the way. It's going to be a little hard. That's good, because you don't want it to come apart while you're flying it. So now you see the contact points I draw on there with the ink. That's a little hard to see the ink because it's reflective. You want to make sure it touches the contact point with the body of the drone. And you would do the same thing with the stiff pre-printed arms as well. I'm going to use a cardboard one, so we're going to do the same thing. Then you want to get the next arm. Oops, let me get that in there. And the middle notch, make sure it's closest to the top of the arm. These top notches, you go on the top. Again, this is going to be a little stiff. You want to make sure the arm is fully seated. You don't want a gap like that. You want it to be fully seated, just like that one. Again, it's going to be difficult. Alrighty. Once you get that fully seated, we're going to move on to the motors. So grab your motors. Now the thing here, you can't just put the motors on any section of the arms. You have to, on the body, if you look around the body, you're going to see a triangle and a circle that align with each arm. There you go. You're going to see the same circle and triangle on the motors. You can see that one. Well, that's a triangle. So you want to make sure you put the triangle with the triangle. And you put that motor on that. You don't want to get mixed up or it's not going to work. And you just put the motor in the notches at. Make sure the motor is in as straight as possible. Next one, so this is a circle. And we're going to match it with the circle on the body of the drone. So that's this one right here. Alrighty, so we got the circle and the triangle. So we got two motors. And you do the same with the other two motors. Tangled up there. Alrighty, so let's see. Oh, another thing is you want these black propeller guards to be facing outwards, away from the body, not towards. You don't want them towards, you want them away. So when you bump into something, that's going to protect the propeller from breaking. Put them in there. Make sure it's seated down all the way. You don't want gaps between the body of the motor and the arm. No gaps. And make sure it's straight as possible. Do this. Okay. So now you got all four motors on the body of the drone. Now we're going to put the battery on. So you want to line the battery. There's like slits in there. And I'll line those up with the contact points right there. So you'll put that in, push down to the clips. This drone does have a little camera on it as well. All right, so now I have my drawn contact points. Hopefully it works. Want to make sure you don't have any, like, you just want to make sure that the ink, the lining of ink is totally covering from one end to the other. Because if you don't have, you know, consistent flow of ink there, it's going to have a bad connection. So that's why you also want to let it dry. So hopefully I didn't just ruin my contacts. You can also just, once it's dry, you can paint over it again. Also, they show you doing solid lines like this is recommended, but I'm going to try the squiggly line method. See, as long as I'm thinking, as long as this is, there's no breakpoints in that line, it should work. Alrighty, so now you got your drone put together pretty easy. If you received kit from the Tech Annex, the battery should be pre-charged already. They throw them on a charger. The charge time is probably like 10 minutes since it's such a small battery, and the runtime on the battery is only 3 minutes. The range of this drone is like about 150 feet. I do not recommend using this high up in the air because the wind, and if it's windy, the wind will take it and you lose your drone. If you can get it that high. All right, so now you're gonna need to download the app to pilot the drone. It's called CS Pilot. So in the kit, you should have gotten a little pamphlet like this. Shows you which app to download. I know it's backwards, but you should have this in the box. And so once you download the app, you want to, let's switch the drone on. So there's a button at the bottom, a little black button. Push it. Alrighty, so then once push the button, you should get a flashing light like that. Let me see how your drone looks like. Very cool, perfect. Alrighty. And we're gonna go to the app, and under Wi-Fi, you're gonna select CS drone. So what I think how it communicates, it uses either Bluetooth or Wi-Fi and signal off the phone, probably the Wi-Fi signal since it's telling you to connect to the Wi-Fi on the drone. And so once you're connected, you don't need a password or anything, it just connects to it automatically. You want to go to the app. That's how the app looks like. Circuit scribe, and has a picture of a drone. And on my phone, it's really hard to see. I don't know if it's just because of maybe it's a bug in the app, but there's two selections, right? Where it says scribe, it's like right above or right behind the text. It's probably supposed to be lower, but for whatever reason, it shows up on my phone like that. You want to choose the left option. It's hard to see, but it says operator. So you click on that. And if you have a successful connection to the drone, you're automatically going to see the video feed on your phone. And then with the video feed, you'll see the translucent controls. So now what you want to do, you got to arm the drone. So you got to, I'm gonna put my drone on this table over here real quick. So what you want to do to get the propellers going, you want to pull the analog sticks on the controller downward in diagonal motion. And you can see, okay, I don't know if you can see it here. So what that does, it just starts the propellers. It doesn't launch it up yet. So let me do it again. It looks like one propeller is not going right here. So, but you got the other one. Oh, this one kind of stops. So that tells me I have a bad connection with the ink. If you're having trouble, you can after the ink is done drying on the arms, you can just try to go over it again. If you don't want to use the cardboard arms at all, you can just use the pre-made arms with the contacts printed right on them. This will work 100% of the time. If you want to get creative, you can use the cardboard arms. And what's nice about this, you can crash it, the cardboard arms will get destroyed, but you can draw some new ones out again. So it's reusable. Yeah, I drew my own quirky design there, and you can just keep drawing arms over and over again. Now I'm gonna try. Oh, I actually didn't have the battery sealed away. Let's try that again. We'll close the app. Open it up again. Let's see. Again, you know if you have secure connection is once you get a video feed on your phone. If you don't have a video feed on your phone, that means it's not connecting. And always make sure under your Wi-Fi settings that you're connected to CS drone.
Well, I'm going to go out too. I gotta take a lot of
Let's see, I'm connected. Let's go to the app. Yep, we got a video feed. And then once you have your propellers going, you want to hit the button all the way to the right. It's an H with arrows going up and down, and that's your launch button. That's gonna bring your drone up. That's what's gonna make it rise. And you can also take pictures and record the video feed. So let's see. Start it up again.
Okay.
Got it going. Well, let's stop now. Let's see. Let me try the printed arms. Let's turn it off first. Once it's off, the red light should be off. You take the battery pack out. Let's take the arms off. Just slide them off. And if you end up running out of conductive ink, like I mentioned before, you can buy it on Amazon. They also sell it in like a little jar of paint. You can brush it on. That's probably easier to use. Take this off. I'm going to use pre-printed arms. Put it on the body first. You want to use the one with the notch closest to the bottom of the arms first. Align with the contact points and push. This one's going to be a little difficult to push in because it's thicker material. It's not like cardboard where you can squish it down. I find it easy to put it in at an angle first and you can slide it in pretty well. Okay. Then, as I mentioned before, you want to match up the circle with the circle. Triangle with the triangles. Up there.
I don't have any random complaints about it.
Alrighty. Let's pop the battery back in. And they're nice and good, nice and tight. Make sure it's clipped in. Push the power button on again. You get a red flashing light. Let's see. There we go. Gonna go back to the phone and connect to CS drone. Okay, so that, go to the app. Pilot. And once you have a video feed, and you're connected. Put this in an open area. Arm it by pushing down or pushing the analog sticks diagonally downward. Got it going. Then you want to hit the H button. That's going to launch it. And to disable it, you want to push the sticks inward. Whoops. Whoa. Fresh.
Where do you get that?
Where'd you get that from?
We have a whole bunch of them. It's a kit. Would you like one?
I'm gonna tell them the same thing. If they call me, I'm gonna tell them the same thing.
And with the catchers,
Michael Jordan.
hold on one second. Yeah, and that's how you do it. And like I said, it's reusable. If you don't want to, or if you end up breaking these pre-printed stiffer arms, you can use cardboard arms that it came with. You gotta use a conductive ink. It has to be conductive ink, and draw your contact points. Or you can come up with your own design for arms, cut it out with a supply piece of cardboard or any piece of cardboard. I wouldn't use anything thicker than what's applied. If you can get cardboard that's about the same thickness, that would work good. And yeah, like I said, it's reusable. You can crash it. On the website, I do believe they sell replacement propellers if you go through these propellers and the extras it comes with. And yeah, conductive ink, you can get it on Amazon or from the website. Let me share my screen here. Let's see. Oh, I am sharing my screen. Okay, so if you can see this, this is the website for Circuit Scribe, and this is a download section, and they have other kits. And if you scroll down to the bottom, you can get the manual if you end up losing the manual, but it comes in the box.
So this way you can put more of it down.
And there's also a drone science curriculum that's included, and this shows you, or it teaches you about circuitry and all that, you know, the basics of circuitry. That's a pretty long curriculum. And let's see, let's go to Amazon.com. I can show you how it looks like, the conductive ink. I spelled Amazon wrong. Yeah, so you could get the Circuit Scribe brand, which I recommend using. There is other conductive inks like this Circuit Writer that is meant more for circuit boards, like computer boards and stuff, and that does contain lead in it. So I would not recommend kids using that, especially with this toy. I would just stick with the Circuit Scribe brand, the non-toxic conductive ink. And they should sell, or maybe they don't anymore, conductive paint, something like that, but that might not be safe for kids either. So if you don't find a conductive paint, then I would just stick with the Circuit Scribe pens. $11 for 2 of them. That's pretty inexpensive, and it does last you a while. Look, they do have a lot of ink in them, and always remember before you use it, shake it really well for about a minute. You want to mix up that ink really good so you can get a good line for drawing, or good ink for drawing. And yeah, that's pretty much it. And thanks for watching. Look forward to more this summer. Throughout the summer we're gonna have more programs like this where we give out a kit for free. I think the next one is gonna be a DIY surveillance camera. We're gonna be using a Raspberry Pi Zero. So if you're interested in STEM kits like this, definitely sign up for the next one and you'll get another free kit. Thanks for watching.